We're going with an aesthetic today. Hello everybody, welcome to Bandits and Bookworms. My name is DEIDRE and today I'm gonna read some books. I've been in a mood recently, and that mood is to read thrillers. Part of this is a mood that I think has been forced upon me by a book club, but I also just kind of want to read them, so I'm gonna. So for this vlog, I'm planning on reading 3 different thrillers. I know nothing about them. I'm not super into thrillers. I think I've read really one before this. That was The Writing Retreat, which I did enjoy. I thought it was good, but I don't know enough about them to know what I'm getting myself into really. So we're gonna read 3 of them and we're gonna see how it goes. The first book that we are reading this week is The Last to Vanish by Megan Miranda. This is one that you can see I have already started by the bookmark and the annotations, but I've literally only read 1 chapter so far. I'm on chapter 2, so I have no opinion of it so far. I do want to try annotating books. I've never done it inside the book, and writing in a book for the first time hurt my feelings a little bit. I know a lot of booktubers really like doing it, and honestly, there is a certain thrill in being like, I'm putting my mark on this forever. So we'll see how it goes. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I did annotate one other book, and I didn't truly annotate it. I tabbed it, but I didn't write in it, and that was Circe, which you can see on my shelf back there somewhere. But I did enjoy tabbing it out and having my thoughts organized, especially when I know that I'm going to be talking about a book in depth, whether that's for a book club, which Circe was, or for a video, which this is both. I did also, as a side note, and Ariana has one too. She's also on this channel. You'll see her eventually, but I bought this really cute little book club journal, and it's super cute. And like for Circe, I was able to put a little like thing of the cover, and then had the things, and it's super cute, and I love it, and it's organizing all my thoughts, and I will also be taking notes on Last to Vanish in here. I do specifically reserve book club books for my book club journal. I have stickers all over it because I can't help myself, and I'm apparently 15. Anyway, I don't know what this book is about. So far, it seems to be about a town that people have vanished in, visitors, hikers. It's like in the mountains in North Carolina, and nobody knows what happened to them. 4 guys disappeared one point in time, and then another one has vanished. I think there were 6 total people, but we've gotten introduced to like 2 characters so far. There's not a lot to tell. It's chapter 1. We're setting up. The second book that I'm planning on reading for this vlog is a book of the month book, and that is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. I've seen a lot of Taylor Adams work before, but I also don't know what this is about. I think I read the description when I got it in book of the month last month, and I was like, that seems interesting, and I picked it. I can't remember. I don't really want to read the description. I feel like for thrillers, the less you know, the better going in. Here's the thing is I don't know how book of the month picks usually are. I have gotten 2 book of the month books so far. I've only been a subscriber for a couple of months. Like I said in the last video, which if you haven't watched yet, I'm putting in the card right here. I am new to reading, and so I've been trying different subscription boxes. I'm on the list to get into Illumicrate right now because I've heard a lot of really cool things about it, and people get really cool additions from them, and Fairy Loot is another one that I need to get on the list for as well. But book of the month, I've only gotten 4 books from them so far. I read 2 of them. I have this one and one other book that I have not read, which is The Collective Regrets of Clover from the May box, and I still have yet to pick my June box. And part of the reason that I haven't picked my June box yet is I'm going to use this to evaluate whether or not I want to trust their opinions on thrillers. So, you know, we're going to have one book determine the fate for the whole company for me, apparently. The third and final book I'm planning on reading for this vlog is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, I'm sorry. I am scared for that one because it looks really cool. I flipped through it when I was standing in a Target and making bad financial decisions one time. Put it back, didn't buy it. It won Best Horror on Goodreads for 2022. But basically everything that I have seen about it and all of the opinions that I have heard are negative. So I'm very confused, and I would like to form my own opinion about it and figure out where I stand with this book. So at some point during this, I am either going to buy it from a bookstore somewhere and we'll go shopping together. It'll be a great time. Or we'll go to my library together, and that will also be a great time, and I'll see if they have it there. That's primarily going to depend on whether or not I enjoy annotating it, because if I want to annotate it, then obviously I will buy it. Don't annotate your library books. I'm hoping I like all these books, but let's just be honest, the drama for not liking one of them would be more fun. So we will see what ends up happening with these books. But in the meantime, let's get to reading. I just hit my computer when I did that. notes before I get into my update here. Number one is I hope y'all are ready for the disaster hair in every update after my intro, because we're not spending time on this. The second piece is that, as if they have a sense, my neighbors have decided to let their dogs out right when I am deciding to film. So if you hear barking, it can't be helped. So updates. We've refreshed the makeup. We've been reading for a large portion of the day. We are here for this book. Except only kind of. 50% through The Last of Vanish. I am liking it so far. I am not loving it so far. I have reasons multiple for why I am not loving it. The biggest thing with it so far for me is that I'm not getting thrilled. Like, I'm curious about what's going on in this town, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not thrilling me as a thriller. I'm not necessarily getting the vibes that anybody is in immediate danger or anything like that. It all seems very suspicious. There is an air of deception over the entire town. Let me get into a synopsis before we get too far into this. The Last of Vanish is about a girl. Her name is Abby. I say girl, she's 28. She's literally my age. She lives in a town called Cutter's Pass. Yes. Cutter's Pass. You'd think I'd know that. The town is basically a character in this book. She runs an inn there called the Passage Inn. The town is famous for being the most dangerous town in North Carolina because 6 people have disappeared there over the course of time. The book is about trying to figure out what happened, essentially. It's definitely a mystery. I mean, there's stuff going on there. There's a bunch of characters in the town who have different motivations for what's going on, I think. The issue that I have with it is that I just don't have a lot of information, and the backstory for everything is being revealed very slowly, which is telling me that we're probably going to be missing a crucial puzzle piece up until the very end, and something that could have been revealed earlier. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be great and we'll have a great time with it. There have been so many mentions of the town not really being closed off to outsiders, like welcoming tourists and stuff, but also like you're very clearly an outsider if you're not a local. And by local, I mean having literally grown up there, because even Abby, who has lived there for a decade and her aunt runs the inn, or owns the inn at least, is still sort of considered an outsider. Like, she still belongs, but because she was there for 2 of the disappearances, now she feels like she's involved in the town. I feel like I am going to be disappointed in the ending of this book. I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong. But I feel like I'm getting set up for disappointment because we are being given a lot of really obvious breadcrumbs and then not so obvious breadcrumbs. There's been a few different mentions of like something building. She could just be referring to like the plot of the book, you know, but with this, I feel like because there was a pretty big mention at the beginning, and it's been referenced a couple of times, that Abby's aunt built the inn that they now run. I don't know. I feel like something with the building, and I also feel like there's a lot that's very obvious that the whole town is hiding something or has something to hide, and maybe it's one giant thing that the town is like conspiring about. That'd be kind of cool, but it could also be that everybody has their own individual little things to hide, and maybe it's just all gotten interconnected in some sort of little like spiderweb. Like, now, the things that I am liking about it are, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, so I grew up my whole life around forests and mountains and streams and just nature. Nature was abundant. And I really like the descriptions of all of the places. I like the descriptions of all of the small townness. Like, I grew up in a town that has a population of like 1,800 people. It does a very good depiction of what small town America looks like, I would say. I like the main character. She seems like a nice person who is conflicted, who's been hurt by certain things, but is mature enough to look past them for certain things. Like, it's been a while since I've read a book with a truly mature main character, and I think I'm a little thrown off by it. There's only one point, let me see if I can find it. There's moments like this where the 2, what I would call like maybe main characters, as it were, Abby and this guy Trey, they're both investigating these disappearances, and they've gone out hiking. This is what it says. Trey stood with his hands on his hips, staring at the falls, 3 levels of cold mountain water gently cascading over a sloping rock face. I dropped my pack beside us in the clearing of dirt and took the water bottles out of the bag, handing one to Trey again. Thanks, he said, barely glancing my way, dropping his own bag to the dirt beside him. He drained half the container while I stared at his exposed throat. He wiped the back of his hand across his mouth, eyes narrowed at the pool of water before us. Like, what? If you had given any indication before this that there might be like a romantic interest here, or maybe that she's a serial killer or something like that, how incredible would that be if that were the twist? If the main character was like a killer. Wow. If that's the case, then you know what? I take everything I'm about to say back. I take it all back if that's what happens. Unless you are giving me a reason for you to be noting his exposed throat, don't. Just don't. That was weird. I literally, when I tabbed it, let me just show you my note that I made for it. When I tabbed it, I literally just underlined it with a big what there. What? That's the only thing like that's been in here, but like most of the writing I really like. I have tabbed in blue passages that I really enjoy, like this, for example. In the distance, the fog was lifting off the mountain like smoke. Wisps of heavy gray still clung to the trees and sections, muting everything. It was my favorite kind of morning, haunting and beautiful. And I really like that, right? It's not super descriptive. It doesn't have like a bunch of everything, but I can see that in my head, right? Just with the 3 sentences that were there, I've got a picture. You've painted me a word picture, and I love it. I think that's great. I have a feeling right now it's 9:15 or so p.m. I'll probably read some more of this. I'll probably go until like midnight or so and see how far I get. And then I will update you tomorrow. I'm imagining I'm going to finish this tomorrow, and then I will probably end up starting on the last word. We're going to try that. So see you tomorrow. Hello friends, good morning. Remember how I said my hair was going to be a disaster in every update? I lied. So if you think this is a disaster, I don't want your opinion. I spent time on this morning. Although it is wet, I am freshly showered. I will give you that. Also, I double lied. I said that I was going to finish the book today. I lied to you. I finished it yesterday. How does it feel to be friends with a liar? I have finished The Last of Vanish. I'm glad I filmed a 50% update because I was thinking about doing a 75% and then that didn't happen. I finished the book instead. So now you will just know my thoughts as of the fact that I finished it. I really struggle to rate my books in a star rating system, at least a 5-star rating system. If I had 10, I could probably do it more accurately. I know that you can just do 0.5s, but I don't like doing that because I can't make the 0.5 a thing on Goodreads. So I use Cawpile. For those who aren't familiar, because I sure wasn't when I first started watching BookTube, Cawpile is a method of rating books where you rate 7 different things and then you take an average of those things, and that average spits out a number for you, and then that number correlates to a star rating that can match Goodreads. So the 7 things that you rate on Cawpile are characters, atmosphere, writing, plot, intrigue, logic, and entertainment. You rate all of those on a scale of 1 to 10, and then it spits out a thing for you. So because I am a giant nerd and my actual day job is in a lot of data analysis and working in Google Sheets, my dog is barking, so I'm wondering if a delivery guy... Oh, I wonder if it's my book annotation supplies. This is not cute. I did not cutely annotate this because it's all just like neon colors, but I didn't highlight anything because I didn't want to use my regular highlighters, and so I want my cute supplies. They were supposed to be here yesterday. They got delayed. I'm mad. Anyway, so Cawpile. That's right. I was there. I made a really quick calculator on Google Sheets that I will link in the description so that you can make a copy of it for yourself if you want to use it for your own Cawpile thing. I think there are some online. I couldn't find any super easily, so if you want that, it's in the description for you. Just in case you guys were curious, this is my Cawpile. Here's a screenshot of it for The Last of Vanish. This is a high 4-star book for me. I really, really enjoyed it. I still have complaints about the beginning, the fact that it took so long for us to get some pieces of information. I will say this, I was 100% right that we got given a crucial piece of the puzzle that the main character knew the whole time, right near the end. Right before part 5, there is a reveal that happens that is absolutely essential to knowing how this all connects. Did I get the satisfaction of putting the pieces of the puzzle together? No, and had I been able to, this probably would have been a 5-star, but that knocked it down for me for sure, because I think we were missing a really important piece of the puzzle that we didn't get given that we could have. Real quick, I do want to talk about spoilers for just a second because I want to talk about a way that this could have been done differently. And I'm not saying I'm a better author than Megan Miranda or anything like that. The book was good. I really enjoyed it. Clearly I enjoyed it. I do have one thing that I think could have been better. Here's a time code. I'll do a chapter marker. I'll put a link. Here is your warning. I'm doing a big spoiler. So the big reveal that I'm talking about is where it is revealed that her father is one of the fraternity 4. That reveal is important. At that point, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. What a great reveal. Holy shit. And then we get into part 5 and the character is talking about the fact that her mom, her last dying words to her was that her father was one of the fraternity 4. And when her mom died, she came to Cutter's Pass to try to find answers about her dad and maybe somebody who knew him. And when she got there, she couldn't bring herself to say it. But Celeste knew, and that's why she took her in. Like, the whole Celeste story arc makes sense, right? I think that this may have been more interesting to me if we had known the entire time that her dad was one of the fraternity 4 and that the town had knowingly kind of just brushed that mystery off to the side, but also that she allowed herself to get caught up in it because she wanted to belong in the town. Like, that was such a clear theme throughout this, that she wanted to belong in the town. down. So I think it would have been a more interesting character arc if she and Celeste knew that she was a daughter of a Fraternity 4 member. We knew the whole time. And Celeste still didn't tell her what happened because she was ashamed and she didn't want to ruin the relationship. She just wanted to take care of her. And then as things go on, it makes more sense for Celeste to reveal more information to her and stuff like that. I just think that would have been a better way, a cleaner way to tell that. The satisfaction from a puzzle doesn't come from just solving it. It comes from the moment where you take all the pieces and you figure out how it goes together, and you get that aha moment when you see how it's going to go together. It's not just putting it together that makes it satisfying. It's the, oh, I know how this is going to go. And missing that crucial piece of information, the puzzle was not something we were going to be able to solve on our own. I don't think. You could guess that, like, yeah, there's real things that happen to these people and they probably were just murdered, right? And they're not just living out in the woods somewhere or whatever. That's really the only spoilery thing I wanted to chat about. So let's move into non-spoiler things now. Other than that big piece of criticism that I have for this, I think that the story is well told. There's a reason I finished the book last night. I got through the 50% mark and I did my update and I was like, I'll read another couple chapters tonight and then I'll go to bed and I'll wake up in the morning and I'll do more. Basically what I said at the end of the last update. That was my plan. And I read like 6 more pages and immediately was like, there's shenanigans happening. We've reached the action parts of this book. I am finishing it because every time I thought about putting it down and going to bed, I immediately was like, yeah, but what's going to happen next? And I know I'm just going to lay awake there waiting for what happens next. So I just powered through it. I stayed up until like almost 1 a.m. I'm excited to talk about this with my book club. That actually doesn't happen for another couple of weeks. Really liked this one. So we'll see how it ranks. The next up in our list, as I said in the intro, is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. With The Last to Vanish, I went in very much trying to solve the thing. With this one, I'm going to go in not trying to do that and just go in no thoughts, head empty, and see what ends up happening. I also did really enjoy annotating, so I probably will end up purchasing hidden pictures. Let's just get reading. Oh my gosh, everybody, this update's gonna be so fun. First of all, I hope y'all are ready for a cozy vlog time because that's what I'm gonna do and that's what we're gonna do. First things first, I'm lighting a candle. We're getting ourselves there. We have a rosewater sorbet candle from Target. There we go. There's the focus, which I've already used a lot of, but hey, we're gonna let her sit right here. We also have like the world's tiniest unboxing. Douglas Adams, hey, I'm watching you. I can see you. We're just, you know what? You can't be trusted. Yeah, no, you can't. We also have the world's tiniest unboxing to do while we're here. I am really excited because I got some book annotation supplies. So I hesitated to buy these at first because I wasn't 100% sure that I was gonna love annotating. So I tried it out on The Last to Vanish, and do you have like a little carrying thing that you come in? No way. I just relinquish your tools. I'm like tearing this box apart, y'all. I really hope that these work and I don't have to return them. But yeah, I have 2 sets now of pastel highlighter pens. It looks like it's basically the same set, but like in a lighter and a darker shade here. And then I also bought some sticky tabs. I bought these with the intention of having more transparent tabs than the ones that I have right now. I looked at some reviews and that was like the one thing that people complained about was the fact that they were not the most transparent. Here's to hoping, right? But I have like a whole set of them. But I've got a bunch of like pastel-y solid colored ones, and then I've got 2 sets of like little ones with little dots on them. I also got this cool mustache sticker that is definitely just free product placement for them. So the other reason why I suppose we are all here is for an update on The Last Word. I had to go out and run a couple of errands earlier today, so I didn't get a chance to read like all day, but I've gotten to what page am I on now? 85. I've gotten a little bit into part 2. We're still within the first 100 pages, so as I talked about last time, it's very possible that I'm just getting into it, but I have some very real complaints about this book already. Number 1 is that our main character has made some really dumb decisions. Let me do a synopsis first. I keep forgetting to do these. The Last Word is about Emma Carpenter. She is living living in a really remote city in Washington State called Strand Beach. She is basically house sitting for somebody. Like, her job is to house sit for somebody while they are doing their normal things during the year. This is like their summer home. So she's isolated. She's clearly running away from some tragedy that's happened in her life. She is an avid reader, and she has picked up a bunch of like really crappy 99-cent ebooks. And she has this relationship with her older neighbor who lives like a quarter of a mile away, and they have this friendship going on, and they write back and forth to each other on whiteboards, and they have telescopes to like see each other's whiteboards and stuff. And it's kind of fun. It starts off, the very beginning of the book is she's finishing this terrible book that she read. She seems like she's reading like 2 or 3 books a day because she has nothing else to do while she's in this house, and she seems like she kind of likes that way, but kind of realizes that that's not super healthy. Like, she points out the fact that she's not had human contact in like 4 or 5 weeks, which is alarming. She goes on Amazon because Amazon wants her to rate it, and she gives it 1 star, and she writes a review for it. It's a really small book. She's the first one to review it. The author comes on and basically begs her to take down the review, and she refuses to. The author gets more and more threatening as time goes on. Then she figures out that the author has probably stalked her to this house that she's house sitting for, and she sends the guy an email basically egging him on. And I'm like, girl, you are killer bait. She's made one smart decision so far in this whole thing, which is that she decided that she was going to leave, and then like the author revealed himself basically and was like, I'm here and I'm here to kill you. So we're gonna see how I feel about Miss Emma. She so far has been, I feel for her because like I said, she does have some mental health struggles that she's going through, and that's fine, and I get that. And she's suffering from the loss of her husband. Her husband died, I don't know how recently, but like relatively recently. She's really struggling because of that, and like, I get it. I 100% feel for you. And there has been a couple of really good discussions about mental health so far. I say discussions. There's been a couple of really good like portrayals about mental health so far and about grief. I'm gonna get a little bit real here for a second. So I just filmed a segment that's gonna come right after this, and I get pretty real in it. So trigger warnings for the next however long. I'll put a timestamp here for grief and depression and suicidal thoughts. If you don't want to hear that, totally get it. If you're not in a space to hear it, totally get it. Skip ahead to the time code I'm putting down below. For example, I tabbed one of these that her dog has a bandana that her husband got for her when they first started dating. The dog really loves it, and she misses it when it's not on her. And there's just one, like, it's a 1-line thing right here. And it just says, the edges are fraying. It'll come apart soon. That's a really good, subtle way to talk about grief. It's the little things. That's what my note is. It's the little things about grief, right? You don't really think about the things that are there. You don't really know why you feel the way you do, and you don't really notice those things until it's, I don't know, grief is really weird, and I'm probably not the best or most qualified person to talk about it on here. There's another thing that she says about depression, I think it's right here, that Taylor Adams writes. He makes decisions with this Emma character that I don't like, but there are certain things that I do like. Her neighbor asks her if she's okay. The passage is, I'm afraid of myself, she wants to write. I'm afraid of what I'll do when I'm alone, when no one is looking. I'm so afraid. And I'm like, that's a really good depiction of depression, at least from my experience, right? You think about the things that you want to do, and if you are suicidal, then, you know, it can be really hard to live with yourself day to day because you don't know what you might do. And while there is a part of you that has a survival instinct still and wants to live, the depression brain is taking over and saying, maybe you don't though. Anyway, yeah. The one thing I will say about The Last of Vanish is that I liked our main character the whole way through. And I thought that she made decisions that made sense in the moment. There were decisions that she makes to like not share pieces of evidence and not share these things because she, as she's trying to uncover these things, gets incriminated with all of this evidence, and she doesn't want to share it because she's afraid of what the repercussions would be. Is that the smartest decision? No, probably not. But does it make sense? Yes, it does. Her being kind of nervous about this person having maybe stalked her to her thing and then being like, come fight me, I'm not afraid of you. That's stupid. Why are you doing that? So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna read some more of this. I'm gonna probably switch up my tabs because I want to use my new pretty ones now. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to keep reading because something's got to give here, man. I really hope it gets better. But right now I'm not liking this nearly as much. So we're going to see. I will update you tomorrow. Did I put my hair up while it's still wet? Yes. Am I taking questions at this time? No. So just had a good morning. We went disc golfing. You guys saw footage of that. We also ate lunch, which I'm pretty sure I forgot to take basically any B-roll of. But good news is I have updates. I finished The Last Word last night. Boy, howdy. I had thoughts, although look at the cute new tabs. Hello, they're so cute. So what can I say about The Last Word? You know what? I'm gonna let my rating speak for me, at least to begin with. Here is my call pile rating for this book. I had some serious issues with The Last Word. There were parts of it that were really good and really intriguing, and like in my call pile, the atmosphere was good, and that was kind of the only thing that made me like tense up or my heart race at all, is when they were in the darkness and there was things happening with that. That was really good. The problem that I have with this book, we're gonna crab hands throughout this apparently, is that the characters were infuriating. Like if I had not been reading this for a video, it's very possible I would have DNF'd this at like the 150 page mark, because Emma, who supposedly reads horror books and should know better, is making some really dumbass decisions or having illogical thought processes. There is at least one thing that gets mentioned in here, that adrenaline takes over and you don't get to make rational decisions while you're in a horror book or movie. Yes, but at one point the killer cuts the internet lines to the house. Emma, the main character, assumes that because she's unplugged the landline phone, that he did not also see the landline phones buried under there and didn't cut those as well, and then is surprised when he has. That's the kind of thing that bothers me. It pulls me out where I'm like, what are you doing? I have so many highlighted pieces in here of just me being like, what were you expecting? Oh yeah, that's the other thing that happens too, is when the internet gets disconnected, a dude has shown up to the house. She gets threatened by him at her front door. And then when she goes to call the police, just a second later, she is disconnected from the Wi-Fi and can't make calls because there's no cell service. And she sits there, she's like, what the hell? What happened? I'm like, I don't know, maybe the guy who threatened you knocked out your internet. It's just a thought. It's just a thought. It's just a thought. There's two things that I really didn't like about this book, really. Emma making dumb decisions at the beginning. I can kind of get over that because it's a thriller and there is some truth to, you don't make rational decisions in the moment. So like, I could forgive that. The bigger issue that I have are two things specifically. Number one is that this book is told from Emma's perspective and the killer's perspective, which is fine. I actually don't mind multiple points of view. I think it's kind of fun to see the back and forth, and there were parts of that that I really enjoyed. However, if you are going to do that, you need to make your killer POV less cringy. And I know that that is kind of the point of this one, but there was so much of it present once the killer point of view started that I literally wanted to like skip over those pieces of the book because I was so sick of reading them, but I couldn't because there was valuable information in there about pasts and backstories and all kinds of things. I hated that. I hated all of that. The last reason, and the reason that really brought this down from a 3-star to a 2-star read for me, is the fact that the ending goes on for way too long. I think there were 4 twist endings, or 4 like big twists in here. And we got to like page 280 and it's 320 pages long. And what seemed to be like the final twist played out, and I was like, nope, there's gonna be another one. Oh, there's the other twist. Okay, cool. And then another twist happened after that, and then another one after that. I also highlighted at a certain point, I'm not gonna show it just for spoilers sake, but I highlighted at a certain point like, okay, I'm just gonna stop trying to figure things out at this point because things are just gonna happen. When you have that many twist endings, you have overstayed your welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Exit the building. I could go into more detail about it, but it would require a lot of spoilers. The one thing I will say is that the only thing that kept me going throughout this book, really, like that I was genuinely interested in, was whether or not the dog made it out, which I will put in the description, the answer to that. And you can look at my Goodreads review. It's in there too. But I won't say it here just in case you care about spoilers. Yeah, there you go. Those are my thoughts on The Last Word. My last word about this, don't. Okay, so with that, we have the last book of the vlog, which is Hidden Pictures, which I still do not yet own, but I have been really enjoying annotating my books with both The Last of Vanish and The Last Word. I find I had a lot more fun with The Last Word, I think, because I was annotating it. In the meantime, I'm gonna read a different book. I'm not gonna give you updates as it goes along or anything like that, but I might come back and be like, it was good. Now we're reading Hidden Pictures or whatever, right? But I am gonna read Daisy Jones and the Six as a palate cleanser because I've never read it before, and one of the Discord servers that I'm in is like really raving about it and loves it. So plus it is so different from the genre that I'm at right now. As an update for whether or not I'm going to trust Book of the Month on their thrillers, I will, but I'm probably going to look at Goodreads reviews first, honestly. I was trying to avoid that as much as possible so that I could get my own opinion of it and form that opinion. But when you're paying extra for extra books, and I have 2 or 3 books that I want in every box, I'm going to look at some reviews before I spend 20 bucks on a book that I may not like. I will be back here in just a second with hidden pictures, and we will start talking about that. So I thought today might be fun if we did a little unboxing moment for a second, because I stopped at the Amazon delivery guy all day today because I ordered stuff earlier today and it literally couldn't get here fast enough because I'm so excited about it. And it's literally nothing. It's just little things that I kind of wanted. So let's have a little moment together, shall we? First thing I got are these little cute little Mr. Pen. Thank you for your purchase. These all write with black ink. They're cool little like pastel colored pens. Let's see if this sticker comes off here. Yes, it does. Thank God. Okay. I am really excited about that. So the next thing that we have on our list of things to unbox, which is in a nondescript white box. Haha! So this is a set of bookmarks that I got, thinking that they were magnetic bookmarks, and they're not. Do you like that plastic ASMR? There's supposedly 3 of each design. There are 3 of each design. Okay, cool. There are 3 of us on the channel, so I'm gonna give each person a set of these so we can each have a set. So it's just some cute little like astrology bookmarks. You know, you got like this kind of design with the moon phases, and then you got like, you know, that one and this one, and you know, stuff like that. So they're just cute. And then the last thing I got, which is the thing I am the most excited about, is I have you can see I was doing the Arc of Wanderlust last I used my Kindle. I don't use my Kindle very often. I don't find e-reading to be as fun as reading physically. However, there are several books that I want to read that either my local library doesn't have or I don't want to purchase, or the holds are hellaciously long, or I don't want to like have physically on my shelf. So I'm gonna do some e-reader things. But I bought a new case for this because this one is cool because it's like one of the smart cases and it folds closed, and it is a smart lock one, so when I open it up it unlocks. So what we're gonna do with this is I have just a really simple clear case for the Kindle. So there it is, just a clear case. Hello! I also got a pack of 200 bookish stickers that we're gonna use to decorate the case. So I thought that might be a fun little moment for us to do together. Read banned books. I'm really excited about this specific sticker. That's definitely going in there. Just one more chapter. That's super cute. That's definitely gonna go in there. Oh, super cute. Cozy reading time. That's going in there too. I'm having to accept that this is probably gonna look a little haphazard. And you know what? Honestly, that's probably a vibe. If I weren't married, I would do that one. Even if I am married, I might still do that one. I'll put that in my maybe box. This does not fit my Kindle. Is this the wrong one? Neither one of these fit my Kindle. What the f? Hello, friend. It's a new day, and I have some Amazon returns to make. I bought 2 different cases that were the wrong size for my Kindle, so we're gonna return them. So I'm at Whole Foods to return those. But I do have a small update for the Kindle itself because I decided to just sticker the case I already have. So here's what I ended up doing with it. It's very cute. I'm very excited about it. The inside as well that I also stickered. So there you go. It's a good time. We have a couple errands that we're gonna run right now. We have to drop this stuff off to Whole Foods to return it. And then I have a hold that I forgot I placed at the library, and today's my last day to pick it up. So I have to do that. And then I'm probably gonna peruse and get a few more library books as well. And then tomorrow we're gonna go to Barnes, and I'm trying to keep my book haul at Barnes to a minimum because I need to save my money. That's hopefully the plan. So we're gonna go into Whole Foods now and see how it goes. So see you in a second. Mwah. Bit of a change of scenery today. We're at my parents' house because they have a wood shop on their property and I need more space on my shelves. So I have come up here this morning. It is 9 a.m. Actually, it might be close to 10 now. Yeah, it's 10 a.m. because my shelves for my office are custom and they are also adjustable. So I have purchased some wood. We're gonna make new shelves. It's gonna be great. I've got my coffee. We are hanging out. My parents are currently not home, so I might take some time and read before they get back. This is the kind of bookish content you're here for, right? Woodworking? Safety first. Okay, we are 50% of the way through Hidden Pictures. I did a bad job of filming my book shopping trip. I literally think I filmed when I walked in and the coffee that I got because I met Ariana there and then kind of just shopped and realized once I got home that I had filmed nothing. I got some books. I'm not going to do a book haul in this video. I'll probably haul them in a different video. Maybe I'll do an actual book haul video at some point. But Hidden Pictures. At the very beginning of this video, I said that this is the one that I was the most nervous about reading because the booktubers that I had seen and other opinions that I had seen from people that I know were negative, but it won Best Horror for 2022. So obviously the ending of thriller novels is really important. So my opinion of this could change by the end, but as of the 50% mark, I'm really liking it. The pictures in here, the fact that like we have, let me just show you like, yeah, the first kind of like creepy one. The pictures in here are fascinating to say the least. And I really like the kind of mixed media format of this, where you're definitely getting big pieces of the story told through the pictures. So that piece of it I really like. I will say this, and this is unrelated to the content of the book. This is a mass market paperback copy, which I've been really trying to avoid because the spines will break. I've been trying really hard with this copy to not break the spine, and it's still done it. We are following Mallory Quinn, who is a recovering addict. She gets a job as a nanny for a really wealthy family, the Maxwells, and their son Teddy. And when she gets there, she sees that first picture that he's drawn and is like, what's this? And he says, that's my friend Anya. Anya has him drawing pictures of really horrific things. She's trying to figure out what's going on there. There's kind of a mystery surrounding the cottage that she lives in the backyard of this like really nice house that these guys have. It's good so far. I'm really enjoying it. There's a couple of things that are a little frustrating. Maybe this will happen in every thriller because you're on the outside looking in. These pictures are being drawn, and just like a chapter or two ago, Mallory is saying that Anya is trying to communicate with her, trying to tell her something, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, you haven't gotten that through the content of the pictures that are in here, because it's kind of obvious, but it's moving along fast enough that I'm not feeling like I'm being stopped by a dumb character. I'm gonna say this now, Adrian's my boy. If he turns out to be a shitbag, I'm gonna be so upset. I'm gonna keep reading. I don't really have a lot to say about this. I find that with books in general, but mostly with thrillers, if I wait until the end, I'll have a lot more to say about it because I will have a complete picture at that point. It is 10:45 right now. I'm gonna read a little bit more and then go to bed, which I know is what I said about Last to Vanish, but I actually need to go to bed soon. Hopefully nothing too horrifying happens in the next little bit so that I don't feel the need to keep reading, because this one has the potential to keep me up at night. It's hitting just the right fear nerves for me. So we'll see. Good morning. I filmed the whole intro to this with my microphone over there where I store it, so I'm gonna have to reshoot everything. I finished the book last night again. Shouted from the rooftops, call emergency services. DEIDRE has a problem and cannot be stopped. So, yeah, let's talk. I have thought about whether or not I want to release a compile for this book all morning, and I'm deciding to not. And I'm going to explain why, but it requires revealing basically the entire ending of the book. So, spoiler, here's a time code. There you go. The reveal that Teddy is a girl, not good. Not good. I understand that as a plot device, people who have abducted children in the past have dressed them up as the opposite gender to try to disguise them and get away with it and a little bit more and stuff like that. So like, I get that that's a thing that happens. However, if it were just that isolated, I could probably be okay with that. But the number of other references in this book to the atheist progressive parents being kind of wacko, and not kind of wacko, they are so far off the deep end in this book, and the witchy pot smoker who lives next door being thought of as kind of a wacko as well, and the only sane person in all of this is the God-fearing woman. It reads to me like they are trying to push a narrative, and that's unfortunate. I think that there is a way that this story could have been told that didn't require that. I know I did the same sort of thing with The Last of Vanish, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, endings of books, I'm gonna rewrite them. If I had to choose one ending or one book to rewrite, it would be this one. This is a social problem. Here is the thing that bums me out the most about this. If I were to take out that piece, this could have been a solid 4-star read for me. But by seeing Flora being forced into being a boy and the potential for that narrative to be pushed, that parents who allow their kids to express their gender identities at a young age are abusers, not good. Not a good thing. Here's how I would have rewritten this book to make this not so problematic. There are a lot of references to things that Teddy does. When earlier on in the book, Teddy is asking about girl parts and stuff like that. Those are all hints that that's a thing, but that's part of just like kids ask questions about things, right? They start to figure things out when they're young. There's other things too, like always wearing this one striped shirt, having the pictures, instead of reflecting a little girl, you could have had either Flora always be a girl or Teddy always be a boy wearing something with stripes on it. You know, just little hints like that instead of making this about the gender of the child. And that would have taken this easily to a 4-star for me. Now, I will talk about the book outside of that for a little bit, but that it makes it a pretty solid 0-star read for me. I thought it was really creative. I thought it was really cool. I loved the pictures and all of it. Like, some of this stuff is like horrifying. This really unsettles me, and I like that. This is probably the only one that really had me looking over my shoulder because I would feel like there was something behind me. What else is there left to say about this? I don't know. I don't think there is much left to say about it. Update on this is really short. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about a book that clearly has so many references to other things in there that lead me to believe. Originally, my thought process on this was I was not going to try to put the intention of the author in the book because you don't know. The more I talk about it, the more I think that there's a narrative here that Jason Rekulek is trying to push. So I'm not going to talk about it beyond this. So sucks. It was a solid read until it wasn't. So if I had to rank these, this is how I would rank them, which is surprising to me. Really, honestly, we should just kind of... And that's my ranking. I would sooner reread The Last Word than I would reread Hidden Pictures. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, leave a like and a comment down below. Let's go ahead, and if you made it to the end of the video, let's leave a pine tree emoji in the comments for The Last of Vanish. If you have suggestions for things that I should read, put them in the comments. You can find my Goodreads and all of our socials down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.